A year ago today, my girlfriend Polly scheduled a cruise on the Oasis of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. And she needed a roommate, and I got to be the person that got to sail with her on this cruise. And right now we're on that cruise. And it's amazing because I always have trips that we plan a year and a half to two in advance, depending on how far they let us do that. So we can have that time to pay on it and pay cash. So that's how this worked out. It was a year ago and she did it. So God provided source of income for me to pay on this one because this particular cruise was not in my 2025 travel plan. So I'm just glad how he hooked me up on getting the funds for this cruise. So the cool part about these trips, like I said, they're far in advance, and we can't see the future, but God knows the future. So every trip, I can say every single trip that I've ever had, there was always a need or a reason for that trip to happen when it's supposed to happen, whatever date it is. So this particular one is happening in that time of period while I'm waiting. As you know, we've been talking about the fact that my scheduled surgery is now July 14th. So I'm in that waiting period because the date we've had before was, what it was, it March 31st at first, then it was put back to June 9th, and now it's July 14th. So now, wow, saying that out loud, it just hit me. Number three. That's a good number. The Trinity, I mean, three is a good number. I don't even want to go into that. Just hit me like, wow, look up the value of number three, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So, but while I'm waiting, I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. God still has me doing the student driver cars. He has me serving at church. He has me doing whatever I'm still doing. I'm not just sitting at home like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe or whatever. Yeah, I'm having difficulty with breathing and that kind of stuff, coughing, all that kind of stuff, and still waiting for the Nakala to make some marginal change because right now I still only had one dose in, and the next one's coming. This is June, yeah. Wow, June. Wow, sometime in June because I can't even think of the date right now. I'll get my second one. So by the time the surgery date comes, then we'll have two shots of Nakala in me, and we'll see how much improved my lungs are. Anyway, I'm just we are on 3 days of land and 8 days at sea. We've already done the 3 days at land, and we stayed in Pompano Beach, Florida, and we stayed on a resort that was right on the beach. Oh, it was so nice, but in a two-bedroom suite. You can see more details about that on my travel video channel, YouTube channel, where there's a video of what that suite looks like, and then pictures of the suite out of the building, the resort, and then other information that I had on there. And then I also wrote a couple blogs about some of the things we did because we went on the waterway, intercoastal waterway. We spent the whole day doing that. We had time to go see the Pompano Beach pier, and we spent time there. So we had meals in Pompano, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, and Lauderdale by the Sea, where my favorite restaurant, Aruba Beach Cafe, is located. Anytime I'm in that part of the world, Fort Lauderdale area, my husband and I take the plane in. If we're not driving, most of the time we're flying in because 9 times out of 10 we're flying in, and then we drop our stuff at the hotel, resort, wherever it is, and go straight to Aruba's. That's our first meal every time we come. The food there is so good. So if you ever get a chance to go there, you must do that if you're in the Fort Lauderdale, Lauderdale by the Sea, Pompano Beach area, because it's right there on Route 1. But anyway, so that's what we've been doing, eating, walking, doing the waterway, doing a bunch of stuff. And those articles are written, and I'm going to put the links of all these, the written and the video, so if you want to spend more time checking those out while I'm sitting here in this moment of waiting. So now on the cruise, we are on our second full at sea day. Yesterday was full day at sea, and today's the second full day at sea because of the distance we have to go from Fort Lauderdale to St. Kitts, because tomorrow we'll be in St. Kitts. And I'm really looking forward to that first stop because I'll get a chance to hang out with some members from our church. I'm part of an international church where no matter where I go, I try to make some kind of local connection, to see people, hang out with them. So we'll see what we're going to do tomorrow. But I know they're coming to get us from the ship, and can't wait to see what that day is going to be like. And that's the nature of our trip. We have no schedule. We had no schedule on the 30 days. We had no schedule on the 8 days on sea. We're just here. So every day has been interesting. I mean, only thing while I'm on sea right now that is on a schedule, if you want to call it a schedule, is that I have uh, a quiet time with God, breakfast, and then who else? Who else knows about that? I don't know. What's the rest of the schedule is? Only God knows, because He's the one that's been orchestrating our whole schedule this week. Because He's the one that came up with the idea for the waterways, the idea about the pier. Because I didn't know anything until I got here. So, it's just been fabulous. And I can tell you already that this particular cruise is way different than any of the 28 cruises I have taken in the 30 years that I've been cruising. Totally different, totally different, totally different. But I'm going to save giving you the full 4-1 about how totally different it is next Monday, because I'm only a few days in. So I'm like, whoa, already can tell. So I can't wait to see what the rest of the almost week is going to be like. So you got to come back next Monday for next Monday's admissions from the heart, to hear about, wow, how the cruise part really went and why it's so different than the 28 that I have done before. So let's give you the scripture while I'm waiting. So this is Psalm 27:14. It says, wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. The scripture always tells you to wait. It doesn't tell you just sit there folding your hands. Just wait on whatever it is you're waiting for, or healing, finances, whatever it is you're waiting for. Wait, because God's timing is always perfect. And I know his healing power for me is always perfect. And then in the meantime, He's giving me these opportunities to enjoy looking at His nature and all these different places that He's taking me. So we'll see you next Monday when I can give you the full 4-1 on why this cruise is so extremely different than any I have ever gone on. See you next week.